Hey, one of the first things that we really have to be able to do is keep our midline nice and stable. That's what houses our central nervous system, and we want to keep that thing as safe as possible. The other thing it's going to do for us when we have a nice stable midline is make us efficient as possible. Whenever our spine gets into an odd position, we can't move as well as we'd like. So we have a process for that, and we want you to try that today, right in your office, right in your living room, wherever you are. I'm going to take Darcy through that process, and we're going to kind of show you how that works. It's also really good for just good posture and how that works. So I'm going to start out and have Darcy stand with her feet about shoulder width apart, and the first thing she's going to do is she's going to take her feet and push out like she's trying to separate her feet from the sand, or that she's going to split those two mats. What she's going to do is she'll feel her outside of her thighs engage, and now what she'll do is squeeze her butt cheeks as tight as possible. So that sets her pelvis in a neutral position. Now we need to get that center of the core braced. So she just leans back just a little bit and then squeezes her abs to tighten that back up. There she is. She's got that nice and braced. She's going to keep tension in her abdominals. Now she can let her butt cheeks go, and so can you. From there, we're going to have those thumbs straight forward and take those shoulders and get those nice and neutral. And the head, we want to have that, if you make an L with your thumb and your forefinger, and I put my thumb right here, that's that neutral spine position. So now she's in neutral spine, she's going to move safely, and we want to maintain that all the way through the lift. So if she turns and faces me with that braced neutral spine, and if she were to go through a deadlift, you can see that spinal position stays right where it is. If she were to go into a squat, that spinal position stays right there. Or if she were to press overhead, that spinal position stays exactly the same. So what we don't want to do is come into extension here whenever we're pressing over our head. If you want to show maybe some poor spinal position, so maybe with that press overhead and arch yourself up. So you can see what happens here. We get into that extension, and now we're at the safe pace, not in a safe place. Go ahead and back in a neutral position. Let's deadlift with poor lumbar stabilization, and there you go. Let it round. See, she's having a hard time doing that. So a lot of times we see some rounding in the back, and that's not good, especially with the deadlift or even in a squat. If we see some hunching over. And again, she has such a hard time. She's so good at this. I might have to show some bad position here if we see it here. So this would be a bad position to deadlift with, or a squat. I'm having a hard time too. So we want to avoid that. So really try to keep that midline nice and braced. We'll see you tomorrow.